Hey, so we're going to look at how to find slope. Remember, same process with all of it. You might look at it a little differently. Let's see what we can do. This video is all about slope from graphs. Okay, slope from graphs. Remember, it's rise over run. So some of you guys are very familiar with rise over run. We draw our line to see our change in y. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going down -4. And then you have your run. So you go over 2, right? So we can say rise over run. And I'm doing color coding just to train my brain. Is going to be -4 over 2, which equals -2. Okay, so that would be our simplified one. But I do want to show you another way that you can do this when you're working with slope. If I label these points, you just need 2 points to be able to find slope as long as it's linear, right? So this point is 1, 2, 3, 4, so -4, and I'm up 1, 2, 3. So I'm at -4, 3 here. This one's -2, -1. If I know my points, I can stack them and then find the difference. And I like looking at it this way because then it's always finding slope the same way. In my tables, in my graphs, in my points, my brain doesn't have to think, oh, it's different every time. Actually. So we go change in y. So my y values, 3 to -1, that's -4. And then my change in x values, so -4 to -2, oh, I'm going up by 2. So then I can do my change in y over the change in x is going to be -4. Hey, look, we got to the same place, over 2, which reduces to -2. Okay, and so I like the points just because I don't miscount on things. It sets it up like a table, but you can definitely draw the rise over run if that's how you visualize things. Okay, so don't think that you can't. All right, so here we go again. I'm going to pick 2 points that I can name. Okay, so that means I know the ordered pair that goes with it. So I'm at -1, +2 for that point. And I go find another point. Let's take this one. That's at 1, -1. Okay, and so if I stack those, right? Whoops, not what I wanted. If I stack them, so I'm going to have -1, 2. I'm going to have 1, -1. And then I just go in and I find my changes. So my change in y is going to be, well, I went from 2 to -1, so that's -3. So my change in y is -3. And then I go find my change in x. How did we change? So -1 to 1, I went up by 2. So my change in x, I went up by 2. So I'm going to leave it that way. Simplify it if you can. If you can't, just leave it as an improper fraction. I want you really comfortable with fractions this year. I know you've worked hard with converting to decimals, but there's a lot of precision in fractions that you miss out sometimes with decimals, especially when you're rounding them. Okay, let's do it again. So first we're going to pick 2 points. So any 2 points that you want, whatever you see first, right? So it's okay wherever you end up. We could pick these 2. There's other points you might see. You can pick any of them. So this goes -2, and then 1, 2, 3, right? -1, 2, 3 for my y. And then this one is 1, 2 for the x, and down 1 for y. So I stack my points. So, whoa, not like that. That was craziness. All right, so we have -2, -3, and then we have 2, -1, and then it's time to find the changes. Over and over and over. So -3 to -1. Okay, I went up by 2. So my change in y, I'm at 2. And then we look at the change in x. -2 to +2. So I went up 4. So we're at 4. Okay, so it's a positive slope. That matches what I'm looking at. Sweet, I love that. And then we just simplify this to 1/2. Okay, you always want your simplest form. So and guys, you could do the graph like I've been saying. And if you look, I could even see that right here. I go up 1 because there's a point right here. But it's okay because look, we found it the other way too. It doesn't matter, as long as you find 2 points and you reduce, you'll get to the same place. Okay, let's do it one more time and then we'll explore some of our other options here. Okay, so find a point, label it 1, -1, and then we go find another point that we can name. Okay, and this goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes up 1, 2, 3, so 4, 3, right? So I'm going to stack them. This is a positive slope, so I'm already telling myself I should be positive. Make slope dude happy. Puff, puff, positive. Okay, -1 to 3. I went up 4. And then for my change in x, 1 to 4. Okay, 1 to 4, that's 3. All right, so our change in y over change in x is going to be 4 over 3. We're just going to keep that in proper fraction. Okay, over and over and over again, that is what we do. Okay, and I could double check it here. So if I do my arrow, I go 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and I go 1, 2, 3 over. There's our rise over run. Perfect. That's how you do it with graphs.